fire on the ocean, the floating of a poison in the hay. A dream of a cityscape from fear and hope our Adrio was made. There's no time to lay in wait, we'll stay awake for the dawning of an age, living in the end of days. Thus the dark will be afraid. Meeting in the dead of night, two ships circle and align their passing toward. Tether ropes along the sides shine their lights onto the future they behold. Into the sky we must go, a new home we will build our Adrio, staring at the mess we've made. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Sweet mate, what was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Nothing could be the same. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, thus the dark will be afraid. fire on the ocean, the floating of a poison in the hay. A dream of a cityscape from fear and hope our Adrio was made. There's no time to lay and wait, we'll stay awake for the dawning of an age, living in the end of days. Thus the dark will be afraid. Meeting in the dead of night, two ships circle and align their passing toward. Tether ropes along the sides, shine their lights onto the future they behold. Into the sky we must go, a new home we will build our Adriel, staring at the mess we've made. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Sweet mate, what was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Nothing could be the same. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, thus the dark will be afraid. fire on the ocean, the floating of a poison in the hay. A dream of a cityscape from fear and hope our Adrio was made. There's no time to lay and wait, we'll stay awake for the dawning of an age, living in the end of days. Thus the dark will be afraid. Meeting in the dead of night, two ships circle and align their passing toward. Tether ropes along the sides shine their lights onto the future they behold. Into the sky we must go, a new home we will build our Adriel, staring at the mess we've made. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Staring at the mess we made, what was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Nothing could be the same. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. fire on the ocean, the floating of a poison in the hay. A dream of a cityscape from fear and hope our Adrio was made. There's no time to lay and wait, we'll stay awake for the dawning of an age, living in the end of days. Thus the dark will be afraid. Meeting in the dead of night, two ships circle and align their passing toward. Tether ropes along the sides shine their lights onto the future they behold. Into the sky we must go, a new home we will build our Adriel, staring at the mess we've made. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Sweet mate, what was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid. Nothing could be the same. What was once has gone away. Living in the end of days, of us the dark will be afraid.
we set?
Yep, we are live.
Hey, everybody. Got a little bit of a late start tonight for, is this episode 50? 51?
Something like that. I don't know. We'll strap.
But anyways, we are, I'm thinking of Strahd. We're not quite that far. I think we're like episode 40. Anyway,
we might beat it. The way we're going, we might actually beat it.
It's possible. There's lots in store. Anyways, welcome to Emberwind. I am John Helfers, Radio Johnny Panda. With me, as always, the full Ember crew. It's great to have everyone here on another Monday evening. And welcome to chat. And actually, I just realized I haven't turned Twitch on either. I was the one who made us late, so I'm still trying to get things up and running here. There we go. Day 29 of Emberwind. Okay. The Edge of War. And as I was just teasing the party members that this party can take anything into the Edge of War fairly quickly, so we'll see how they do tonight. Anywho, welcome everyone. Welcome chat. Glad to have everyone here. Let's get cranking. But first of all, as soon as this pesky ad will run, so I can see the order of... Oh, someone's doing Marie Curie now. Okay, great. So I can see the order of my players, because it's not like it is here. It's a long ad too, apparently.
Yeah, and there's lovely Twitch ads.
There we go. All right, we'll start from left to right. So we'll start with Brahms today. Brahms, how are you? How are things in the Great North Woods?
They're still going. Things are back on the rise in Ottawa just because we've reopened. So, it was bound to happen once you reopen. So it's just gonna
join the crazy American brethren. Yes, exactly.
Day at a time. Yeah. Take it a day at a time, and then make it do. I'm almost back to work full time now. I've just got next week. I start back at the office full time, so that'll be fun. Also sad. It's fun while it lasted.
Yep, it's very
super quiet.
Yeah,
really. Sorry, if someone's having.
It's very bright over there.
It's also because I have a window open.
Okay. Are we having Todd? Anything we need to?
Hold on, I'm trying to fix the audio. I think is that better? Let me know, chat, if that's better. Thanks, John. Thanks, Art, for telling me. Sorry.
Okay. Didn't even see. Oh, he's lurking apparently. Not even in chat. Anyways, good to have you here, sir. And whom are you playing this evening?
I will be playing Ever Sargentium, the Ardent of the group, who will literally bring the fires of war wherever he goes.
There you go. That's why, lean into it. That's right. Just full on. Exactly.
Just, as my girlfriend says, just embrace it.
She's not wrong. Although lately, Everest has been kind of the voice of reason for the group, which is a very interesting turn of events. So we will see how he balances those two competing parts of his personality. So great to have you here, Brahms, as always. Moving on, next is Jen Brozick. Jen, how are you on the West Coast?
I'm melting. We hit 94 degrees here today.
Oh, yay.
Currently only 75 in my office, but...
You have AC, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
But most of Seattle doesn't, because up until the last 7 years, it wasn't actually necessary.
Right.
Otherwise, I had a very good writing day, and since I am all novel all the time at this point, that's good. And
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure you are happy. And Echo got 3 books out of 5 from me. Was I supposed to send you 5? I hope I wasn't supposed to send you 5. I'm playing Lady Savoy Veneer, who has become some kind of mom version of this group. She is in Atlanta, and she's kind of a combat mage, and my favorite skill is my glare that actually does physical damage.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Piercing as well. Very important.
Piercing damage.
De facto leader / house mother / because everyone crashes at your estate. Yeah.
What is it? Reputable. I actually bring a decent reputation to the group, at least.
Reasonably, yeah, somewhat, exactly. The Veneers are still held in fairly high esteem in the city so far. Hopefully you won't change that anytime soon, because your sister will be very put out about that. Oh, yeah. But great to have you here, Jen. And of course, the novel Jen is talking about writing is writing for me, as my day job is working with Catalyst Game Labs on Battletech and Shadowrun Fiction. So, and this is the third novel of her Rogue Academy trilogy, a fantastic YA Battletech trilogy that's been doing very well for us. And we're very happy to have her on board. And I'm very happy to have her here as well. So great. And Savoy Veneer, as we said, de facto semi-willing leader, den mother, however you want to phrase that. Exactly. So always a pleasure, Jen. Moving on to the inimitable Sod, who also handles our IT sound,
And
making sure everything looks pretty.
I'm having panic attacks because the sound was all weird. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out later. Hello,
Okay.
everybody.
Well, but we're good now, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's
I think
fine.
we're good
Chad?
now.
Okay.
I sound about the same as you guys. That's good, and the volume's correct. So that's good enough.
Okay. All right. Cat herder. Yes, Prince. Just absolutely. I think that is too perfect for this
Yeah,
group.
we
Sod, how are you? And sunny, super hot down under? Maybe, or is it winter down there?
It's the opposite. It's winter, so it's cold and rainy. Cold and rainy. You like
cold
rain?
for you is-
Well, we have rain everywhere, which is actually good.
Exactly.
We need
Given the summer you had. Yeah. Like tindery cinders. Yes. Good. Rain is good. Good. And how are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Other than that, general. Sorry, good. Just Echo said something that made me go, "Oh, really? Okay, I'll check that." Yeah, I think like everything. We had a great IB session. I mean, like the plan was awesome. Here,
That is you, but
we had a great party time session. I mean, like that's it's a good good balance, I'd say. We went from some fancy mage's mansion to my tavern where we got drunk and talked it out like normal people.
A night off, yes, which was great. Really enjoyed that. So yes, and Laureate cooked. So there you go.
Apparently, I am the party cook now, the party chef. So
keep that up. We'll give you an anchor for that. So there you go. Exactly. So yeah, always great to have you here because if I didn't, I couldn't do the game. So thank you for that. Thank you for Laureate. And
I should say I play Laureate, who is a druid. She is a resident of Adriel. Party found out a few sessions ago her surname is Blackwood, and she had a bit of a problem with her past, and the party's been helping her deal with it. And
very strained family relations.
Yeah, it's not best.
Not great.
Probably the best way to say it.
Yep.
You know, you can look at all the stuff on the collections on Arv's channel if you want to see the whole series except for one episode because we had problems with tech there. But
exactly.
You can move on.
Okay, and move on. I will last and certainly not least, the irrepressible Marie Bilodeau. Marie, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. It is rainy here, which is great for the garden so that our one red tomato can continue to ripen so that we may eat its deliciousness. So yes, it's very good. It's been a dry summer.
Get one tomato out of it.
It's our second though.
Oh,
second
wow.
Tomato.
Doubled your crop. There you go. Exactly.
We're gonna feed the hungry soon. Just you wait. Share it to everyone.
Well, I see you're doing the adorable cat in the background, so that is awesome.
Yes, that is Pomplo. He is part ragdoll with and polydactyl, so the fact that I'm not back there scritching him the whole time is magic.
I'm sure sad for him though. Yes, quite.
I think he thinks I'm annoying sometimes, so he's probably happy with this. Let's be honest here.
And whom are you playing this evening?
So tonight I am playing Malma, Captain Malma, who is a warrior class in Emberwind. She is very excited. They had a great night last night. There was some drinking, there was some eating, there was some chatting. A lot of it was political, but whatever. There was drinking and eating. It was great. The only thing that's kind of a downside right now is in a bid to protect Laureate's family, which she totally stands behind, is she sent her ship away for like a little while, and 2 to 3 weeks or something like that, and she is a bit sad about that because that means that once again she is stranded to this landmass.
Yes, still kind of stuck here. And if you're just getting your ship back too, so yeah.
I know. I saw the ship go by. I should have just jumped on. I should have pushed everyone on, and we could have all gone.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have been able to turn the grinder into pulp, and I mean little pulp. So
Yeah.
And we would have had the party. There'd be no tavern party.
Exactly.
So.
That's true. It was a good tavern party. That's true.
That's very true. Well, great to have you here, Marie. Great to have Mama here doing what Mama does best, besides eating, which is eating and beating things. There you go. So, great to have everyone here. Yes. I'm just going to leave that alone. So, you guys had the last session was kind of a sit down, catch your breath, have a good meal, and lots of drinks, and talk with several of the contacts you have made in Adriel. Including now suspended Admiral Rhea, after recent events at the Noble's Court, and Maddox showed up with his daughter, popped in there as well, and Talon, who's a mercenary currently working for Hob, also decided to make an appearance, and conversations were had. I think plots were hatched, so I'm going to turn over to the group because I'm not quite sure where we're going. You have one thing on your social calendar, which is a lunch with Maddox the next day, and then it's really, you guys have a couple choices, so the party can take it from here.
So it's currently evening, and we've just cleaned up. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably going 11:30 midnight, probably to everything wrapped up. Yeah,
we've certainly cleaned up.
Yes. The bar.
Well,
the kitchen,
it'd probably be just me doing most of it.
Mama would help. Not efficiently. There should be I'm cleaning this bottle. Oh, this is good.
Making sure all the mugs are empty, of course.
Yeah, help.
I'm doing mug cleaning, and Laureate's just drinking one mug and handing it to me. There you go, it's all clean.
If it's empty, it's clean. That's your definition.
Exactly.
Savoy and or Everest, anything you're doing to pitch in or not?
I'd assume there would be a basin of water or something around.
Yeah, it's a full working kitchen with the usual tubs for rinsing stuff and all that. Yes, that's correct.
So I think Everest would have started by heating one of those tubs with hot water to get things actually clean.
Right.
So
exactly.
I think that the most that Savoy would do would be bring dishes to the kitchen and then leave.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Savoy doesn't really do that.
We're great friends.
Hey, busting the tables is an important part of the
It is, and she might even consider looking at wiping things down, but
you have servants for that.
I do have servants for that.
She'd just be awkwardly at the table. So she's awkwardly at the table waiting for us.
Everest would probably be in the back actually doing the dishes.
Keep in mind, she also did door person duties as well. So Savoy actually was doing, two
I'm just
jobs.
kind of keeping an eye out on everything while you guys are all cleaning, so nobody busting through the front.
She's supervising.
I am supervising. That is what I do, and I do it well. Thank you.
Perfect.
Well, if 3 people are going to help, or 2.5 with Mama, depending on what she's really doing, then it doesn't take too long to get everything kind of put away and in shape and everything like that. As I'm sure Laureate wants it to be left as neat as possible for when you guys return to actually reopen the tavern. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So after everything's done, I'll just say to the group, so I assume we all head back to your place, Savoy?
Yeah. Are you coming?
I've got all the tools and the backpack.
Okay.
Ready for testing for tomorrow.
Then let's get back, get this extra food to the servants, and get a decent night's sleep, because we've got to test your device before we call some cream of the crop in to watch you do whatever it is you're gonna do. I'm still a little fuzzy on that part, but we'll see tomorrow. Huh?
Before we head out, do we need to seal the lab?
I mean, we could do it now, but it's up to you if you want to do it after the test.
Do you have any equipment that is of necessary need at the time?
We've got most.
Before we go?
It would obviously. I'm sure. I think Maddox might have enough tool shed or a workplace to let me do my adjustments if needed. Maybe we should do it now.
I would suggest we do it now then to avoid tampering.
So how are you going to seal the lab?
Just making it so the bookcase cannot be opened. Just tampering with that. We could put a can also put a brace behind it, so when the bookcase closes, it brace falls down and you have to physically break your way through it. Depends on how.
Okay.
Would that be sufficient, or do you just want the mechanism to be broken so that people can easily still get in? They just have to force it open.
I would rather less easily access than easy access.
Okay.
So let's do your first idea.
All right. Oh, this is gonna be hard. So head over to the lab. Go behind the top shelf. Click the switch and opens it up.
Okay.
Head down. Just double check that I've got everything that I need. Everything seems in order. I'm gonna grab. No, I don't know. It's I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna grab my bloody journal that was from the Silverglades because I left it down there, and I'll take that up with me.
All right.
And then I'll grab also a piece of thick wood to get ready for the brace. And
okay, not a problem. So what exactly are you doing again?
So the mechanism, you know how I have like the copper wiring that goes from the ceiling to the mechanism? I was just going to cut that so that the mechanism doesn't work, and then force close the bookcase so that the brace falls down and keeps it from opening.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay.
See if that works.
You think it probably will, yeah.
I'm still a little bit tipsy, but hopefully not too drunk to not.
No, you take your lab security fairly seriously, so it's like once you kind of get your head on straight, like okay, yeah. We have knowledge. Make me a knowledge roll just to be safe. Okay. We're talking,
yeah, 10.
Okay, all right. And you're, yep, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like get it together, Laureate, and make it happen. So you're pretty sure that should deter anyone except the most like super determined.
Yeah, if they would require them to use a weapon basically now. Even I would have to use a weapon to get through. So
yeah, exactly. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're fairly confident that this is secure until it's needed again. So you have all your equipment. You rejoin the others in the tavern main room, and you guys head over to the estate. The passage, the ride back is quiet. No, nothing really. Streets are fairly empty at this time of night, and you reach the Savoy estate without incident. So, anyone doing anything there before retiring for the evening?
Not really.
I think we're all passing out.
So make sure the food gets to the servants, and then that's done.
Yep,
yeah.
If they left out some dessert, I don't want to insult them, so I'll have a couple, but just a couple. I don't want to overdo it. Yes. Just by magic, there is a dessert tray that's in the main. If you peek in the main room, Mama, yes, you will see there happens to be a dessert tray that
has been left as if they knew you were returning at some point. So
I don't want to insult them, so I will take some.
understood. Okay. And are you taking it back to your room or eating there?
Well, I mean, if nobody is staying here, I will probably only eat a couple in the dining room, and then I'll head up, maybe bring a couple with me.
Okay.
Just
some for now, some for later.
Yeah, you don't know if I wake up later with a little snacky.
It's for exactly. To have it close at hand. All right. Anyone else doing anything else?
No, I'll just probably pass out in bed reading my journal again from the events in Silver Glades.
Yes, exactly. And Savoy probably made sure the food got to where it needed to go to, right?
Assured them it wasn't poisoned, assured them that it was in fact edible, etc., etc.
Of course. Let me bring up, let's see, where is it? Here we go, the factions part, okay. All right, and then Everest, same thing, I trust that you're pretty much going to your room, probably. Yeah, okay. Let's see. There we go, okay. All right, let's see, the night passes uneventfully for most. Laureate, at some point during the evening, your eyes flutter open, and you find yourself in the Silver Glades. And you are dressed as a first-year initiate, and you realize that you are back during the time of the experiment 10 years ago. It's very clear. There's no mystery about it, because you can see nearby Priven and Cathor and Weiss doing various things to start testing the crystals and the miasma that's here in the Silver Glades. And you even look down at yourself and you are 10 years younger. What do you wish to do?
We have to do it. Priven, please let me do it.
He continues making preparations as if he does not hear you. All the others too don't seem to really acknowledge your presence there. They're setting up the experiment, and this is one that of course you should be working on with them, but for some reason you're where you are and not. It's almost as if there's a space there where you should be, but you can't. It's like there's no other version of you there. Okay. There's a space where you should be, but you're not for some reason.
Is there anything else out of the ordinary that I can notice?
No, we've already had, this is after one of your party has already been killed, but you pressed on with the experiment anyways before you agreed to leave. So it's leading up to that event right now. Everything else seems exactly like you often, unfortunately, still dream about 10 years later.
So I'll go up and try and get Riven's attention.
Okay, you take a step forward and it's as if you are being blocked by a field or a sheet of glass or some sort of invisible barrier that prevents you from going any further into the scene.
I'll try and yell out to them, any of them, see if they respond.
All right, you scream and shout. You can go as loud as you want. They pay you no mind. And then from off to the out of the woods comes you. I was collecting a whole bunch of these inert crystals as the final stage. And you remember this very well, unfortunately. And you watch yourself insert into the procedure and start setting it up. And you watch, and you can still keep yelling if you want, and no one pays any attention to you whatsoever.
Yep.
And you arrange the matrix as you remember every single step, and you are sure that it should work, that you are confident this is going to fix the problem of the Silver Glades. And you all look at each other, and then Priven nods to you, And just before you activate the crystal, the hearth crystal matrix, the you on the other side looks at you on this side and smiles, and it's a very evil smile, and then activates, and there's a blinding flash, and you wake up soaked in sweat, still screaming, or half screaming maybe Priven's name in your room. And needless to say, you don't have a very good rest of the night. The evening passes relatively uneventfully for anyone else. Is there anything you want to do, Laureate? It's about maybe 3-4 in the morning when this happens.
Just basically just heavily clutching the crystal shard that I have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And try and just try and get as much sleep as I can for this.
You're probably this is not good for you today. Make me a focus roll, actually, and let's see if you can actually, perhaps you're at a +3.
Yes, just 5, 6, 7, 8, and I got a 12, so +3, so rolled an 8.
Yeah, and yes. Okay, so it does take you a while, but you manage to slip into a fitful rest because you know how important tomorrow is going to be. It is not easy, and it's fairly, but you do manage to get somewhere rest, so you will not suffer the effects of a daze or anything for the next day.
Okay.
Everyone else awakens in the morning refreshed, and unless you had a copious amount, no one's really hungover. So I assume, unless people have things to do beforehand, you're all meeting in the dining hall, main hall area. Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Breakfast is, of course, set up there, and so your sister is there as well, naturally.
Yep.
And she greets you all as you troop in, and inquires about how your evening was. The kind of usual chit chat. She's got papers in front of her. She's dining, so. And if there are any topics anyone needs to discuss at breakfast?
I'm mostly going to ask Laureate, what do we need for today? And where exactly are the rest of us going to be while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing?
Well, I assume you'd all join me. You can either participate or watch. It's up to you.
Well, yes, but I'm still not quite clear how any of this is going to work. Or
the gist of it is that put the crystal in the backpack, hold on to these handles, and then there's like these stiff brass handles that are to the side, and it should create a field of air for us to be able to traverse into the Silverglades. You should see the fog dissipate around the person who's got the backpack and is using it. And
how big of a air pocket?
That's a good question. I think a few feet, maybe 10, 20, 30. I haven't done an actual live test. I've only done lab tests, and I don't really exactly have the space in my lab.
So in other words, we need to make sure we have some sort of air purifier for us in case this fails.
Well, we've got the
rebreather.
We've got the lung box, which will give us at least a few seconds of air.
And we can be ready with ropes just to pull people out too.
Yeah.
Right. And the next question, so we don't know how big your pocket's of air is going to be, or how long it's going to last?
It should last as long as you're holding onto these and filling it with arcane energy.
So is there a way to keep the arcane energy going without you having to hold it?
Not that I know of.
Okay, next question. Does it have to be you holding it, or can it be anybody holding it?
I know you need... honestly, I don't know. I'm sure Everest could do it, but I don't know about you two. You could try if you want.
Okay, so, well, it's part of the test. I'm also thinking of what happens if something comes out of the forest and hits you in the head with a rock and you fall over unconscious.
That's a good question. If
It sounds like we hope that doesn't happen.
Well, we
Yeah,
hope it doesn't
well-
happen, but I have learned with this particular group.
we aren't really going to go deep into the forest, are we? We're just going to go on the edge just to test it. I don't think we need
Okay.
to go all the way in. We could just take it slow.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, would a few feet not be, a preference that we could use, or baseline, just a few feet into the Everglade?
Yeah, and I just need some adjustments to be done afterwards, probably, as you need to sort of make sure that the locations of all these, and I kind of show inside the glass cylinder container, there's like various little needles and little like copper plates that, and she says these have to sort of be positioned correctly with the crystal in order to for it to be effective.
I would suggest you show me that just in the event that I need to know.
I think that's probably a good
These.
idea.
Oh, that's a
So
pretty cool device.
So I think we would
Yeah,
spend some
you would.
time going over
You
that,
would
John.
all notice that the design of it is the same as the design of same, but similar, very very similar to the design of the bad thing in the lab.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
The only difference is this one has more of like a external cage around it to try and protect it. If it like a steel cage, or not steel, because I don't think we sort of have steel, Andrew. It's like a sort of
yeah.
it's not really a
rare,
Faraday
but it's,
cage. It's more like a roll cage to protect what's inside it.
Right. So kind of, sort of suspended, half suspended, sort of. Yep, okay.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just like a weird travel backpack that has this exposed glass cylinder that.
So, like, theoretically, though, you could eventually maybe make one of these big enough to, like, outfit on a ship, maybe. Just a thought.
Yes, actually, yeah, that could work. The size of the crystal matters, and you'd have to, obviously, the bigger the crystal, the more power you'd have to, the more arcane energy or any type of energy would have to be used to keep it active. And usually, an airship would have its own sort of power source depending on the type of airship.
Wait. Let's back up just a second. Are you telling me that this device is going to be harnessed by your personal arcane ability?
Yes.
And it's going to drain you?
Yes. After a while, it will. It definitely would exhaust someone.
Yeah, mages are not, contrary to popular belief, not inexhaustible founts of arcane energy.
Well, yes, I was just trying to understand what Laureate was saying here. As a non-magical person, suddenly she's like, I'm a battery. Just
Pretty
so you know.
pretty much, yeah.
And
That's-
possibly Everest is a battery.
That's why Everest asked, because he understood what she was saying earlier about her being the source of the arcane energy. Now he would go on to ask, actually, would having a crystal of that size on the ship interfere with the instruments? Or
I would.
because you already have one that is harnessed to the ship, would having another one
It would
next to it
depend on the
cause
type of ship. Two crystals of the same sort of manipulation of energy, say two of them both manipulate air, they would interfere with each other. As I haven't had time to look, for example, at Malma's cupcake, I can't really comment.
This is also why, in case we had eventually put one of these on the cupcake, in the event we need to traverse the miasma, we would need to find that out.
Yeah. I have some weird ideas regarding the Silverglades if you want to hear them. I don't know if this is starting to get theoretical, or maybe a bit much.
I'm okay with theory.
So you've probably seen me holding this shard, and I show again this little silver hearth crystal shard that's giving off a little bit of grey light.
Right, I've seen that.
This shard is from the Silverglades, and it has a very unique property that for a very, very brief amount of time, I can safely go through the miasma.
By feeding into that specific crystal, yes?
Yes. Now, the Silverglades is abundant of... It has abundance of this crystal. They're all embedded in the trees and the ground. It's very unique.
Now, theoretically, if we were to channel arcane power into those crystals, would it not enhance a larger pocket of air?
I don't know if those crystals... See, this is where I haven't really got a good amount of this crystal to test with. I don't think it actually manipulates air. I think it does something to the miasma, and I don't know what exactly I don't know. Understand how it protects you from the miasma. That's something that I need to have a bigger sample to test. But in theory, if we had a large cluster of it on an airship could technically be able to traverse the miasma for a good period of time, or even indefinitely.
Well, that would certainly change things a little bit.
That would be interesting on multiple levels.
The other question I have regarding miasma specifically and the Silverglades, because this is the location we're going into, how does fire, have you seen how fire is affected by the miasma, or vice versa, how fire affects the miasma?
I haven't
tested. Because this is integral to me.
I haven't actually tested that. I don't really don't have a really good safe working environment to test the miasma.
Interesting. Okay, that could be problematic in some respects. I mean, I don't know. Again, theoretically, it could pose a problem. It may not. It may simply just dissipate the energy. I mean,
It's why I think the Silverglades could be critical to the future of everyone in Axia. We'll have to wait and see, though, but it's something that could be looked at very intently by the Academy, and makes me wonder why, if you remember when we went down the elevator and we saw those rift mages, what they were doing with the explosives. Because if that went off, that would have detached the Silverglades from Adriel.
Right. We may need to... I would like to test, just maybe throw a lick of flame without anybody near it, at the miasma, just to test, what will happen.
Yeah.
If it's around.
Just remember that the fog that's at the Silverglades is not miasma. It's pixie dust.
Right.
So if you want to test this out, you'd have to go near a miasma cloud, which would require an airship. I'm sure. I don't think Malma would exactly be happy taking the cupcake near the miasma.
It's probably less of a wise decision, yes. But I wonder what would the... I've never seen the effects of fire on pixie dust either. I'm wondering what will...
Oh, you can test it when we get there.
I can introduce you to some people I'm sure have tried it, but maybe
you mean
not.
The pixie dust?
What? The fire on the pixie dust. I mean, enough of that, and it's just things happen.
Right.
Anyway, should we head over to Kendrick's first? Because I think Maddox will. He said he wanted to be there while we tested it, so.
Yes, I think that would be wise.
But before we go, any other questions regarding the test?
What do you want us to do? What support can we provide for you? This is not exactly my area of expertise or really comfort, but I'm happy to lend whatever help you need.
I guess you're pretty good at travel packs. I mean, like making sure that everything is correctly rigged up. I think I've done a good job, but maybe. Honestly, you can, if you want to participate and test the backpack yourself, I'd be willing to let you do that if you're willing to risk it.
I'd be willing to do that. I don't have arcane energy or anything like that, but I'd be happy to try it.
All right.
Sounds fun.
Okay. Okay. Like, Laureate's a little bit like, okay, this will be interesting.
So, Laureate, I suggest we go. Before we go, how about you show me what I will need to do to channel, just in case you get tired.
It's pretty simple. You just, as long as you're holding on to these two handles. I haven't tried it with one hand, one hand on it, or one hand with two different people on each handle.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that it may lessen the burden, also may lengthen our ability to stay within the bubble.
Yeah.
It may also change the bubble itself with the power of two of you rather than one.
That is true.
Possible.
As I said, I haven't had a good test, so this will be the first test.
Well then, I suspect you'll need to plan it out, like actually notes, so that we don't get excited in the heat of the moment. Though remind me, the fog in the Silverglades, what does it do to people?
Do you want to do that, John, about the pixie dust?
No, Laureate's seen it firsthand. She can describe it.
Okay. Well, the first few things is any arcane user, their ability to channel arcane energy is warped. It becomes unstable. So spells may not work as you intend them to. You also experience various visual hallucinations. They can also, as you consume more of it, it causes you to eventually pass out and die, as your body cannot handle that much. I had the feeling that I had. It felt like the world, the forest was closing in on me. And you see Laureate kind of like go glass-eyed a little bit, and everything was closing in. And I just had to run, just get out of there.
So, hallucinations, suffocation, and then death.
Well, you wouldn't really feel the suffocation since you're just breathing it in. Yes.
Okay, lightheadedness or
it'd be
lack of oxygen.
Yes. I barely remember actually getting out of the forest.
Okay.
Though it has a lot of after effects that take a while to be remedied.
Like what?
From what I vaguely remember is you would have visions, sort of weird nightmares. I remember that being when I was locked in a cell, I would see things.
All right. So I am going to I think I rather like the idea of Mama's idea of having her on the outside with ropes around the two of you on the inside, because I know she's strong enough to pull you out. I know, Mama, you wanted to go in, but until things are proven, that can be like the next step. But right now...
Now, I'm more concerned about Laureate. Are you sure you're going to be okay heading in there?
I should be. However, if we go deeper, obviously, it'll bring back some memories. Let's just say that.
Well, to begin this, you won't be going deeply, and you'll be going in with Everest. And Everest will make sure you get out, even if he has to burn down the whole damn forest.
Oh, no, I won't have to burn down the forest. Just knock her out, and then I get her back. It's fine.
Good, as long as we have a plan. Next shot, I get to go though.
Everest is focused.
This is the very first test. Let's get a proof of concept plan so that Kendrick can see that this is what we're going to show everybody, and he can be like, okay, yes, they will approve of that, versus no, they won't believe that at all.
And if you want, after this test is done, we can just leave the device at Maddox's estate so that we don't have to deal with it, and we can do other things if you want.
Well, we will cross that when we get there. I suspect Maddox will appreciate that. Okay, let's go not be stupid about this.
Yes, we're good at that.
I really don't know if we're good at that.
Well, let's give it a good shot, son.
Practice makes perfect, my friend.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. Yes. Sooner or later, you guys will get it right. I'm sure. Positive.
Hey, we've actually managed to have a party last night without blowing anything up. So
It was a great party.
That is true. That is true. All right. So
yeah, we wasted it on the party, guys. We wasted it.
Worth it.
Indeed. All right. Let's see. So
I have the vague memory that we were supposed to pick up or go meet Maddox at noon, or
lunch to talk about how you're paying for the mercs he had to get at exceedingly short notice.
Right.
Yes.
Not cheap is what I'd heard.
and yes, Laureate remembers correctly that he did express interest in being there at the experiment.
Okay.
And I think it was Laureate whoever said, like, proof of concept, like, yeah, if he can take witness of it, his observation of the events there to the council, it's all good. So yes, you have a couple things to handle while you are going to lunch at Maddox's estate.
Right. Go. Right. Awesome.
All right. So we're heading out, I trust.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
To Maddox.
Yep. Yeah. Everything is. The city seems, honestly, if anyone wants to make an insight roll, you're more than welcome to. But it's fairly noticeable.
Yep, sure.
That the city seems almost more peaceful today. With the recession retreat or the chasers maybe going underground, that people no longer seem nearly as maybe on edge or tense or whatever, whatever you want to say it. Two, yeah, it's maybe your merchant background makes you more aware of this, but it seems to be just a general kind of like a light foreboding has maybe lifted over the people.
So it's not the calm before the storm, it's the calm after the storm.
For now, yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. The storm has passed, and now the quiet time, not the eye of the storm. The storm is gone. Yeah, exactly. So yes, and as you're heading to the Wingspan, which is one of the most heavily patrolled and guarded areas of the of Adriel, second only to the nobles' quarters. Your journey is without incident. You find yourself at the entryway to the estate again. His valet is waiting, or his I should say his chamberlain, whatever you want to call him, is waiting for you since you're on the official schedule. So
Yep.
opens the door and escorts the ladies out. The men, of course, can fend for themselves. And it says, Lord Maddox is waiting for you in the Sky Chamber.
Thank you.
Leads you in.
Like, we've been there enough, we actually probably know where it is.
Yes, but, decorum and manners and all that such. You would not dream of leaving you unescorted in the house.
Just strolling on in.
Also to keep an eye on you to make sure you don't wander into somewhere other than the house where you're not supposed to be.
We would.
Yeah, we would. We totally
would.
Some more than others, yes, indeed. So, yes, and Maddox is sitting at the other end of the table. He rises to greet you. Friends, good to see you again. I trust no one is the worse for wear after our little celebration last night.
No.
Good. Laureate, do you have the device with you? Did you
Yeah, I
bring it
brought
in,
I brought the backpack
Oh, okay.
and my tool set to work on it. The tinkering.
And
tool set.
immediately he sees. I mean, his greeting is effusive, of course, but the moment he sees the device, he says, and this is it, the salvation of the Silverglades, right, Laureate?
Yes, I a little bit
Maybe?
of a loaded term, but I can.
Yeah, Laureate, no pressure.
Yeah.
Well, a lot is riding upon this device doing what you claim it can, so I would say that's not perhaps untoward to call it that. If this can open up the area of land which has previously been undeveloped, it could be a literal game changer for the city. Do you mind if we can eat in a moment? But I'm fascinated. Do you mind running me through how this is supposed to work?
Sure. To make it quite simple, is that we place the crystal inside the cylinder, and an arcane user holds the backpack, puts the hands on these two handles as they traverse through, and it should let you go through.
I see. So it's activated by a person energizing it, more or less.
Yes.
And if they were to stop doing that, the miasma would then, the effects would be returned.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So it doesn't, it has no miasma destroying ability, it just neutralizes it basically.
Correct. You have to remember as well that the Silverglades, I have to remind you, is that the Silverglades is not the miasma. Those are two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
So they have two. You're thinking of comparing a cloud to the miasma, which is a little bit not scientific. So just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Kind of like laugh.
Right, he chuckles too, but it's kind of certainly a weaker one, and maybe even a little uneasy. It's like, all right, well, I mean, regardless, if it brings us further along in what we can do in the Silverglades, even in general, it should be still of interest to the nobles. So, but simple passage through the area is not, of course, what they're looking for. But I will reserve further judgment until I actually see it in action, of course.
Well, this is a nascent device. I personally would like to see it not quite so dependent on a human circuit.
Well, the energy source is, let's just say, an issue for now, and I must be honest, and I am not a mage, I am not an arcanist at all, so this is just a layperson's reaction. However, Lady Savoy, I believe you have the right of it, that the fact that it needs to be powered by a human, I would say, somewhat limits its potential. Somewhat. It's still, if it works, it's still an incredible advancement. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to poo-poo this at all. I'm not denigrating it, but
this is the beginning. This is a proof of concept.
Correct. And I think, like I said, I've asked enough questions for now. why don't we have lunch, and then were you planning on heading out today? Is this ready to go,
yes.
basically?
We are ready to test.
All right. Maybe we'll make it not quite so elaborate lunch today, so we can get moving while the sun is still high. All right. So, and yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
As they're sitting down to have lunch and everything, just as they start to eat, Everest kind of he whispers to Laureate just to not let everybody know, because this is more theoretical than anything. Would it be possible to make a crystal that would be able to harness arcane power and use that to power as a fuel source for the device?
In theory, yes. However, I don't have a crystal to really test it with, as they are very rare to obtain.
Do you know where we could obtain one?
The easiest would be an airship. They're quite common. Outside of that, in Adriel, other than the black market, good luck. Or the academy, I guess, maybe. But
You think medics could call in some favors, possibly, to obtain a testing material for you in order to progress? I mean, this is a rather large project.
I was thinking of some sort of mobile device. I had rough ideas behind one, but I mean, like this, as I said, I'd rather do the proof of concept first before moving on from there.
I mean, of course, but having a thought process in place and having an idea, I didn't know you had thought of this, so I thought it might be useful.
It was a sound idea. Just as I said, I'd rather make sure that this works before moving further. It seems a bit pointless if this doesn't work.
Right. So I think at that he would leave the conversation because he understands that proof of concept needs to happen first before you progress. But he wanted to make that point to Laureate before moving forward.
Yeah, there is one small issue though. If you infuse the wrong amount of arcane energy into a crystal, too much, it can cause it to explode, which would be a very bad thing to do.
Okay.
This gets better and better.
Now, here's the thing. You did not quite show me exactly how much arcane energy to put into this current one, just in case you pass out. Maybe we should go over that one more time.
This is where we start to get into my theorem. How the best way to describe how much energy to put into a crystal is hard.
Indeed.
I just realized that trying to explain this to someone.
More than a smidge, but less than a touch. You know? It's like porn. I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it. There you go.
How about we wait until we get to the experiment site and we'll see how well you can control it.
Enjoy your meal, Everest. Just make it count, my friend. Make it count.
Savor every bite, sir.
Yeah. So he sits there. He hears her saying this. He raises one eyebrow and he says, "Right. It keeps getting better and better." And he sighs, and then he just digs in, starts going at it.
Yeah, I probably should have gone through the drawbacks of the hard crystal.
Especially with the other arcade user in the group, you're sitting there, yeah, it'll be fine, we got this, it's easy. And then you're like, oh wait,
Did I mention it might explode if you overload it? Yeah. That one little thing I almost forgot to tell you.
Small oversight. Small oversight.
A minor detail.
Petty, insignificant detail.
That's right.
I mean, it's like if you did a heal spell. Oh wait, you don't do heal spells. Okay, if it's like you did the.
Yeah, it's like I don't have the same repertoire as him, so I can't really describe that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm sitting there picturing what he would require. Like with Laureate, she would need like maybe a little bit of energy, whereas he does evocation basically. I'm sitting here going like, oh, I need like, I don't know, a third of what she would need, or an eighth, depending, because it's like pure fire energy versus like earth, or I'm not sure what Laureate would technically use.
They call it regenerative, nature-based energies, but it's I'll get what's the official term that they use? I'm gonna get the book out.
I'll do you one better. If hers is regenerative and the fire is destroying, what if your energy causes the crystal to suck the fog towards everyone?
It won't. When you activate the crystal, it's only the property of the crystal. If the crystal has that property, then it will do that. But I don't know of any crystal that do the reverse property. There is a state, though, as I said, when crystal runs out of power and starts to decay, but that's just usually an inert crystal, which is, as I said, is part of the theory that the Silverglades is currently under the effect of one of these crystals.
When dessert comes out, assuming there's dessert, Mama will give half of hers to Everest solemnly.
I like this. My last meal. This is great.
Maybe a little bit more of her dessert. It's okay. Got this. Enjoy the dessert.
What's the
it's like he
term?
wants to drink all. Let's be clear, John. He wants to drink all the fire water right now that he can get his hands on. He won't. He wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He wants to live more.
It's regeneration magic, degeneration magic, and growth magic. Those are the three kind of pillars of a druid. So you know.
Yeah. So his is like strictly. Like the aspect he's taken on of the Ardent is strictly fire magic.
Yeah,
so...
it's needling magic, destruction magic, manipulation magic. So it's a completely different kind of world of arcane energy.
Yep.
And so I mean, yeah, this is going to require some discussion.
Fine, have more food. Here you go. A little bit more dessert.
In for a penny, and then he starts shoveling dessert recklessly with abandon into his mouth.
Okay. Maddox just kind of looks on at all of this with, we're gonna say a bemused expression.
I would say the crew is back to our shenanigans way, just about.
Yep.
So much concern on Everest's part right now. So much concern.
So at some point the conversation's kind of spilled over into general, like the whole powering it and levels and all that stuff. It wasn't all kept between you. I try. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I try and I give them the technical term because I have a numerical system for how much arcane energy a crystal would have of this type, and it's so technical that it would just go over majority of the people.
It's like you see that, you know, that meme where someone's doing math and the equations kind of pass through their heads and everything. That's kind of what it is. Yeah. And at some point while those two are talking about the whole magical,
it's hilarious because I've actually given John all the equations.
yeah. But Maddox leans over to Savoy and Malma and says, how far are you two planning on staying away from this when the experiment actually happens?
She's going to be holding a rope to pull them out of the fog.
And that rope is going to be how long?
I don't really know at this point. I'm doubling it in my head as we speak.
I think that's a wise decision.
I think I went from 50 to 100.
Maybe we should play it safe, Maddox. Do you have more dessert we could have?
Can we have dessert to go? Dessert to go?
just to play it safe.
I'll pass on your compliments to my chef, and yes, if you'd
I
like
could just see Malma. Malma carrying like a stack of cakes all the way to the test site.
I don't know how this is gonna go, but I know dessert always helps.
So I feel compelled to about experience. I feel compelled to bring this up. This is the first time you're actually going to test this in any conditions whatsoever.
Yeah, outside a lab, yes.
So you have successfully tested it on the, let's just call it the Silverglades fog, in a lab, or you just turned it on in a lab?
I assume that I have simulated the fog. I hope that's entirely correct.
Simulated the fog, yes, which involves some back alley dealings to pick up some pixie, which you don't really want to think about anymore.
Yes.
So yeah, you have created near real world lab conditions, but
yes,
they are lab conditions, correct?
Yes,
that's right. Okay, and it's like, okay, I am somewhat mollified. Maybe 150 feet. He says to Savoy and Malma.
Well,
are you sure you don't have a ship we could borrow? It could be like a couple hundred feet above them, and we just haul them up on the winch or something.
No, we could get the windswept out of Dry
Yeah,
Dock.
that is true. We're still waiting for the papers on that.
Well, they have a full year to declare whether or not they own it. Anybody comes to claim it.
But if someone could fast track it, I mean...
Well, unless you have a time machine, I don't think that year's going to go by any faster than you'd like.
I have to back Laureate's plan, though, because when you're testing out a new airship technology, the only way to really find out if it's going to work is just to go into the Azure and eat a lot of dessert. And if you go down trying. That's beautiful.
Well, there's something to be said for lab conditions as well. They don't just slap a new propulsion system on an airship and send it off into the Azure on a whim. They test.
Well, maybe not where you come from. No.
You'd want to use a controlled environment and an uncontrolled condition, and then pit them against one another, and then it would give you a good baseline to run off of. I'm assuming this was done now.
But Mom, I must confess, if your people's idea of testing is just to throw it up there like a baby bird trying to leave its nest for the first time, it's a wonder you ever achieved airship flight at all.
This is if there were ropes attached.
And I mean, it depends where the airships come from. You don't have to build them all yourself. I mean, but regardless, these are great desserts. Thank you. This is great.
Take as many as you wish. All right. Well, I am sure that Laureate has tested this as much as possible within the confines of your laboratory. And therefore, there is nothing left to do but to move to field tests. So, no, if you had said, no, this is the first actual test of any kind, I would have had to, I think, pump the brakes is the proper term here, and go back and do some lab work. Do bear in mind that the Noble Council will probably wish to see the results of those tests, so you might want to have copies of that, your findings ready for them, as well as a complete schematic of the device, too.
Yes, I already have that on me, so...
Okay, good. It's not the only copy, I trust.
I should probably make a copy.
Why don't we leave that here at my place? If you're comfortable with that, I can make sure it's secure and no one but myself will have access to it.
Sure.
If something were to happen to you and we could not recover that, which I don't think will happen, let's just plan for the worst and hope for the best. Okay? And he kind of holds his hand out for the papers or the scrolls,
so I hand
whatever you've got it
the
in.
Problem is I handed to him. The problem is it's encoded. Remember, I encoded everything. So if anyone tried to steal my stuff,
and he kind of takes it. And he looks at it like
it's got sketches, but it hasn't. All the text is in some cipher.
Just picturing the cipher being like cooking language, like 2 eggs, 4 4 barrels of ale or something ridiculous.
Okay, Laureate.
Yes.
This is not going to help us if something were to happen to you and become incapacitated.
I understand. I didn't really think this far ahead for once. Do you want me to?
Not.
I mean, it'll take me.
Would you mind putting down the cipher to the code, please? If you would do me that kindness. Again, I will ensure, I give you my word that it will not go beyond my office until it is ready to be presented to the notice properly.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll write it down. I'm really reluctant. Really reluctant.
I know. Yep. If you want to do a force of wills kind of thing, we can. But Malice is it's played straight with you so far. So
yeah, I trust him completely. It's just we're starting into very deep. Because I haven't told John, like, I was going to use the cipher to be the names of the people that were part of the group, so it's like one of those feels bad moments.
Oh, man.
This will be fine. Everything's fine.
Well, while you're making Laureate uncomfortable, so we still have to discuss how much we owe you for the mercenaries.
And he's like, right, that was the other thing. And you're kind of keeps like, man, if I just kept my mouth shut, he probably wouldn't even remember.
I'm way too honorable for that.
Good for you.
I bet Malma's not happy.
Hey, she didn't contract for it.
No.
He's like, yes, indeed. Well, the fee was 250 gold for mobilizing those forces and such. Now, of course, it's not the amount; it's more the principle. That's all. Now, of course, if you wish to just settle accounts now, it's perfectly fine.
Savoy, I'm happy to chime in.
Wait. Oh, what do you propose, Kendrick?
Well, there is a situation that is currently developing. It's not quite. It has not progressed to a degree where I feel reinforcements are necessary, but that may happen in time.
Okay.
If a party is needed to investigate this certain event, I would like to be able to call upon your group.
Would you care to elaborate?
If nothing comes of it and I do not need you, it's probably best you don't have the information right now. I will tell you it involves the mountain region of Summit. But I'm reluctant to go into any more detail until it becomes necessary. It may be that nothing happens and we can all go about our lives, but I would prefer to have you on quote unquote kind of a retainer, so to speak. You've proven your worth in previous outings, and I think
assuming we survive the Silverglades and assuming we survive whatever's going to happen looking for the Warhide Grave beast, I feel comfortable saying yes, we could look into something, but I would also like to remind you that our group often acts as a catalyst for things.
I have taken that consideration into my calculations. And this, if it came to pass that this event were to precede your quest for the War Beast, I will talk to Hob and get you a little bit more time on that particular job.
If I remember correctly, and I look at Mama, we don't actually have a time limit on that, do we?
There was no timeline.
Well, you say there's none for real, but as I mentioned last night, there's one for Hob.
I also believe that Talon warned us of Hob not being the most patient of men.
Well, yes.
Correct. So, just because there isn't an official one does not mean one does not exist.
May I ask if this issue with Summit, would it be council related as well? Would council have a say in it, or would it just be your personal stake?
This is a personal venture.
Okay.
Council is not involved, and nor do I wish them to become involved.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I'd be happy to help.
I would
Thank
be
you,
happy
both of
to
you.
do something here that wouldn't require us getting held as heroes of something or other, and we could actually just get our takeaway and not have to have our names screamed anywhere. That would be perfectly fine with me.
And Mama,
If it remains secret.
do you not wish to add the Heroes of Summit to your list of accolades and awards?
No. I usually do not operate under such a spotlight, if you will. I would prefer continuing, although this area certainly loves to acclaim.
Well, perhaps it's not the area, but the company you're keeping, my dear.
Well, it happens that getting a title just basically gives you people a target for someone to shoot for.
As you have found out to your, I think, dismay. But yes, I think Lady Savoy, Lady Veneer's catalyst comment comes into play here, most indubitably.
Yeah. And Savoy, to be clear, I've never needed a title for someone to shoot at me.
This is true. This is true. I have met you.
I don't usually stay around long enough to get shot at so much, so I am not feeling this particular but it's all right. I like the
Again, fate or some other grand design seems to have brought you together for good or ill.
Actually, it's your fault.
Mine, you didn't have to stay together once you retrieved the Gelspar crystal.
Yes,
keep in mind,
but
that was not on me at all.
We can lay this directly at your feet. We would not have met if it were not for you.
And again, once you can finish the job, nothing was binding you together. You did the job, you were paid,
Except the
you all could have gone off on your merry ways.
And suddenly...
I take responsibility for the beginning of this little pact, but not for its continuation. That is all on you for. Nice try, though. And he is smiling when he says this whole thing.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I think we should probably focus more on the situation at hand rather than
yes,
past.
the first, impossible thing to knock off our list today is conquer the Silverglades.
Indeed, yes.
You wouldn't have to have an extra 50 feet of rope, would you?
just lots of rope.
Are we asking Maddox or Mama?
No, Maddox.
Oh, I have as much as you possibly could require.
Well, there's only
Yes,
should we all carry 50 feet of rope? And then,
Yes. Yes, to hang ourselves with, yes. That's essentially what we're doing.
We brought 100 with the idea that Mama would be pulling these two out 50 feet in.
And again, Maddox kind of winks at like, ow, pulling him 50 feet across forest floor. That's not going to be pleasant. I mean,
Well,
assuming they're incapacitated in some way.
I've had the worst.
saving their lives or having a little rug burn.
Well, that's true. That is fair. Hey, as long as it's not me, I don't mind how you do this. That's not my problem.
Yes, but you're not going to just stand by and let a couple of people die, are you?
Of course not.
Okay.
And Laureate, how far do we need to go? Do you need to go to prove that this even works? Because
Not
there'll be a
far.
limited amount of time to both of you falling and us being able to pull you out, and that will be dependent on how far you go.
We would just need to test the radius of it and how, if it lasts. I mean, like if it lasts for a little bit, then that should be enough.
Okay.
The test
so
isn't
you
going to
and
take
Everest-
too long.
So one test in, it's just you. You don't pass out. You come back, you get Everest. Everest goes with you. Everest goes out to the side into a certain point,
Yep.
and then comes back, and that would be proof of concept.
Yep. And then
Or
if
you
you
could also
two
do a
want to,
test.
one of you want to try, you can as well.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right,
Well,
Malmo,
since-
you can try.
All
So
right.
much fun.
I suppose once, if you survive it all, I will give it a go.
Come on,
Somebody
Savoy.
has to be a voice of reason here.
I don't know, guys. I really think this would be better kept to just the two of us.
But we'll start with you two, and the test of you holding on to the device, and then we'll shift to Malma and Laureate. It's one step at a time, one change at a time.
Exactly.
I do have to admit, Everest, when you touch the compass, if you remember the tracking compass for the Hearth Crystal Shard, you didn't blow that up. So you do have control. You should probably have some more faith.
Glad you guys have such, as you say, faith in me. It's wonderful.
It was such a nice thing to say, Laureate. You're getting to be a softer.
He just kind of grumbles underneath his breath at that one. It's like, really? You guys don't think I don't blow everything up on purpose?
Give Everest more dessert.
Indeed.
All right. Ready? I think we're ready.
Extra rope has been procured. If there's nothing else, Mama, you have your dessert package ready. I take it. Correct?
Oh yeah, good to go.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's like on literally like fine china in a wooden box. It's like Adriel's version of a bento box, literally. So yeah.
Nice. And it'll be good. It's like when you donate blood, you want to have a dessert afterwards. Depending on what happens to these two, they might need a quick pick me up. So this is good.
Yeah, that's true.
It shouldn't be actually like kind of like baklava, something really sweet and full of and small pieces where everybody can have a piece and
get crumbs all over. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Well, if it's soaked in enough syrup, then there won't be crumbs.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Bring extra syrup just in case.
Indeed. Okay. Let's see. And yes, actually, Maddox suggests it would probably be best. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, it would be best if we take neither of our carriages. I have a, shall we say, more nondescript one that might be more useful in this scenario. We don't wish to attract attention where we're going, if you know what I mean.
Very well.
Okay.
I mean, I'm fine for walking, but you want to... we do have to take the lift down. We do have to take the lift down, so...
Right, but it's a fair hike for the wingspan to the Silverglades, and I don't mind walking in the best of times, but this is a little bit more of a hike than I'm willing to undergo.
Especially with that device. I don't want it being shown to all of Adriel.
Yep. Okay. All right, and he brings around pretty much a nondescript carriage. And Savoy, make me a knowledge roll, please.
Knowledge. How am I doing today? Yes.
Hey, okay.
I'm wasting all my good rolls.
That's maybe. All right, well, but this one you can tell, it looks nondescript, but you can tell it's been reinforced to be much sturdier than your average carriage. Like this could be almost, kind of a war wagon, defensive kind of thing. There are shutters that will slide forth, giving you only slits to fire in and out, fire out of. The wheels and axles and everything are much sturdier and stronger than the usual carriage. The ride, of course, suffers as a result of it, but again, better uncomfortable than dead.
Yeah, and so. I recognize this because I'm sure I've ridden in one, being an envoy from time to time.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Noble families often have.
But you're as part of your furniture bits, putting in storage compartments and things like that. But you guys have dabbled in it. It's more for their vehicle makers who make them.
Yeah,
but sometimes you're contracted to outfit the interiors, for example,
or outfit the exteriors to hide it.
Yeah, sure, true.
You're like, oh.
So, and this is on that roll. This is very good work indeed. Which, of course, you expect Maddox would absolutely have the very best. So,
well, the man is damn near made of money. I mean,
yep. And he says, "Yeah, we'll take the elevator up to the landing. Can you do the experiment there? Is that going to be all right, or do you need to go deeper?"
You don't need to go that deep as long as it's a pathway into the Silverglades.
As long as you find a deep enough or a steady enough sample of the fog, I guess, is the real point.
Yeah, we can do the area where we encountered the Rift Mages.
Yeah.
That was an entrance to the Silverglades.
Yep.
I have a bad feeling about that. Like, I keep getting these nightmares about that place. So, let's be careful.
How I fell somehow and was resurrected magically. It was amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
I am some saint.
It's like, couldn't get away, couldn't survive. I don't...
Or maybe the mages that killed me or sacked me or whatever. What the heck was attacking us?
Well, there was the big slither spines, those big things.
Yeah.
And then those teleporting mages that ran around and kept zapping you guys.
Yes. On our first outing.
Can you believe that's like 3 weeks ago? I think like 2-3 weeks ago in time. But it feels like forever.
It was a month at the most. You're probably right. I think it's about 3 weeks. I think about 3 weeks has passed in game time. Yes.
Oh my God.
It's been an eventful 3 weeks too.
It has. We keep busy.
Yeah, we do.
Indeed.
We burst on the scene, had a near-death experience, and have been bonded ever since.
All right, do you want me to? Because I have to quickly make the map and put it up.
Yeah, I think you probably should bring that up. Since that's what's going to happen.
It'll take me a second to do it, but I'll do it on stream so people on stream can see how I do it. It's super easy and quick.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's fun.
Fun little thing that chat can watch. So I can use the official map. Where is it? Here it is. The official map from the campaign. I have to resize it.
I do not understand. I do not understand Chet's seeming obsession with my haircuts. Every time I get one, it's always mentioned.
Just accept it. You're here.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, apparently.
We had in chat. We were in Zoom chat. We were discussing your lack of glasses, and we're like, it's terrifying. Put them back on.
Well, you want to know what's worse is I couldn't remember whether or not you had glasses, and I had every frickin' week.
No, we have a weekly meeting, Jen.
I know.
It is true. It is quite a different look for me with this and this, and yeah. So.
Also, Superman's disguise works.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, apparently.
There you go, chat. We have proof.
I forgot this map. The grid isn't aligned properly, so I'm just gonna have to. We'll do gridless. We'll do gridless. It's fine.
Well, we might need that grid later, so you have to figure it out.
Well, it's got the lines drawn on it. Just saying it doesn't. Okay. It's not even, so it doesn't work in Roll20. All right, so let's pop us over.
Yeah, we might as well.
Up to that. Sorry, I have to go like this. There we go. So, John, you should see in Untitled. I'll just.
I remember this place. Nightmares.
Yeah, every so often you wake up and you're the last. You have nightmares where you're the last person.
Just
of
running,
your party, just trying to get to this building, and they're coming after you, and
there's just nowhere to live.
It's very shuddery. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Everyone should move themselves onto the platform here.
Which platform is that again? Is it the dark gray one?
Yeah, the big dark gray square, which now has a carriage on it too, by the way. Took the whole thing up because why not? Thank you, Saad. Yep, exactly. I should. There we go.
Come on, Mama. Mama doesn't want to go.
Grab by the name, not the face.
There we go.
Yep.
Thank you.
I had the same problem. I thought, I know how to do this.
This is gonna be fine.
Okay, so.
And Saad, did you look at your chat in Discord?
Take that as a
okay. Give me a second.
Yep. Just grab it. It's not needed, not necessary yet.
Okay.
Yet. Yeah. Didn't make a token for it, silly me.
Yeah.
Very negative stream of thought there.
Remember, Mama's slogan: "Dessert has got your back."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, honestly, Savoy, I find your lack of faith disturbing. I mean,
well, my also lack of dessert since I didn't need any.
You are the emperor. You ate dessert, didn't you?
Savoy very rarely actually eats dessert.
Mama still likes her.
She eats bites here and there because she likes it, but let me tell you, the older you get, well, at least for me, I don't like sweets nearly as much as I used to.
Oh, that's a lie.
It's weird.
That's a pity, actually, as far as I'm concerned. I feel bad for you.
I am
terrifying.
A stereotypical little old lady. I like vanilla. I like lemon. Butterscotch is too sweet. Marshmallow. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh my god, butterscotch is amazing. I feel for you. I really do.
My husband is just like, all right, more for me, and I'm like,
I knew Jeff was a man after my own heart.
Oh yeah, like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's like me and my girlfriend. Girlfriend doesn't have a sweet tooth at all, and I'm just like, all the things.
I'm much more of a savory person.
She's the same way.
Yeah, I just one of those things that has happened, and I just don't know.
Speaking real quick, as a real quick aside, Jen, Larry Dixon still mentioned that meal to me recently that we had at Origins last year.
Jeff and I watched Sorted, and they mentioned Wagyu beef, and Jeff and I looked at each other and we like, yeah, that was a really good meal. That was really, really good, but I'm really glad we didn't get a whole steak of that because we would have been ruined for regular steak.
Indeed.
It was a meal that we both, I mean, it was a year ago, almost exactly.
Yep.
That we had this meal with Mercedes Lackey and Larry Dixon and you and who else was with us?
It was just the 5 of us. No.
Hopefully that uploads.
That was it. That was it. Just the 5 of us. You, Jeff, Larry, and Misty and myself.
All right, it's ready if we need it, John.
Good. All right.
Okay. Now we're back.
Yes. Okay. So this is where we start. You want to block out to the side? I mean, it's not really gonna be necessary, but like block out like 6 squares for the coaching 4, I guess would be. Coaching 5 people. Coaching 4 probably. Like just like right here, basically. It's like parked right there. And again, it shouldn't be necessary, but just as a kind of a block thing that people know where it is.
So we can hide when we're getting shot at by rift mages.
Yeah.
So you want like that?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, that'll do. Perfect. I mean, you got no horses there, but I'll take it. It's fine.
Just assume that they're there.
Yeah, just assume they're there. Like 4.
As Ob says, theater of the mind.
That's right. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So, yes, the Silverglades loom before you. That's correct. And Maddox like, ugh, such a foreboding place. Why I don't come here often, but hopefully, we're going to change that. Right, Laureate? And Everest?
Well, that's the theory anyway.
First things first, look around. Is there anything out of the ordinary from compared to the last time?
Yeah.
Mama's
keeping an eye out for like any attacks here because there's no trust.
So there's the building here, which
fair.
could be if you remember, that's where Malma did before it was a dream.
Yes. Yeah, and Mama, you really don't want to get close to this edge of the platform that has this really bad connotation, really negative connotations for you. Let's see. 3 weeks later, the bodies of those slither spine things have like practically there's dark spots on. I think one was on the platform and one was on the ground.
Yep.
The ground spot is gone. This one is and actually Maddox kind of, I think it was over here. Maddox kind of watches his step because it's dried, but it's very clearly
dried. You
like
can see blood or
creature goo, something. Yeah, exactly.
It's viscous substance.
Well, it's all dried now. It's been 3 weeks later.
So pretty much,
but still, very clearly something happened here. It'd almost be like an oil spill of a car, and then like fossilize over the next 3 weeks.
I say, well, they didn't really clean up after themselves.
Yeah, like that was a slither spine.
A slither spine.
Yeah.
Okay. That does not sound pleasant at all.
It wasn't.
No.
Believe me.
All right.
Also, careful the edge of that platform. It'll come up on you.
There are no signs of the Rift Mage bodies whatsoever. Not a scrap of clothing. Nothing.
Okay. All right, let's head down and let's start heading down.
Okay.
Which side do you want the Silverglades on? The north, the east, just the east?
Yeah, this is it. You're looking at like from this line out, from here to well, yeah. This it's supposed to be an altitude line, but it's also where the forest starts getting thicker. So that's pretty much good. So the forest like begins here, begins there-ish, begins right here. So you could set up here. You can go deeper in, however you want to work.
We'll just set up here. I think is a good spot right here. No, it doesn't have to be fancy.
And all this dark stuff is that fog?
Correct.
Nice.
Max will come right to up.
I kind of look around and go, oh wait, crystal's in the probably in the carriage, because it's a big. It's gotta slowly put.
One
this
would
thing
have
in.
thought you would have made sure to disembark with that securely in hand, Laureate.
Yes, I just go back and like,
That's kinda arches an
yeah. I go back and like.
You hear Everest mutters under his breath, is like, this is going to be so much fun.
Okay. So I come out.
Squares are 10 feet.
Because he's got it in that container, like a weird kind of secure case. So
Right.
I bring that whole thing out and lay it down with the group and open it up.
Okay.
And unseal the cylinder on my backpack, and I very, very delicately put it in. That's a delicate moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gently, exactly. What is everyone else doing while he is assembling the device?
I think.
I'm sorry, what?
You said he, Laureate.
Oh, she. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's hard. It's hard because even I do it as well when I'm playing her. I'll forget.
So,
And I think
the other three, what are you up to, if anything?
100 feet of rope together so that Laureate could go out about 80 feet or something.
I'm Tyler, some wicked sailor's knots between those, so nothing, they're not going anywhere.
Now, keep in mind, these dark spots that are on the map are like the one right next to you guys, like this one. This is little pockets and eddies of miasma.
Okay,
So,
let's not step in those.
Yeah.
do be careful with that. Exactly.
What about this one right here?
No, that's just
Okay.
bricks and debris and some various stuff. Let's leave it at that.
so.
Move the map over so I can see it a little better.
So John Everest would take the time to actually test his theory
Yeah.
and shoot the very smallest amount of flame at the miasma. I mean, like a candle, like a candle with the flame. Nothing large, nothing grandiose. Just something incredibly small and minuscule.
Like a flame finger, basically.
Basically, like finger guns, just lighting a candle. That amount of flame or energy going into the miasma.
All right. Make me a knowledge roll.
Okay. Yes.
The flame seems to have no discernible effect on the miasma.
Okay.
The miasma seems to have no discernible effect on the flame that you can really tell. I mean, this, your little spark spell goes off, lights up, jets into the pocket that you know is miasma, and that's pretty much it. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it doesn't go boom or anything.
Right.
But it doesn't dampen your spell either. So, at least not that you're aware of. You feel that spell has gone off like normal. It doesn't seem like reduced or anything like that.
Right. And after that, he would proceed to, I think he'd walk one, like on the map, he'd walk one square closer to the pixie dust line of the Silver Glades and do the same particular thing to give that a test.
Okay. Another knowledge roll for me. This one at a -2. Which you didn't need.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, like you find a little kind of another little fog cloud that's kind of separate from the other ones in case it does start some sort of crazy, chain reaction or something, which it does not. However, you do get more of a reaction from this. The flame kind of, it doesn't, I wouldn't call it explode, but something in it does ignite, and there's a brief flash of little itty bitty crystals all through it. It's like there and gone. Like a firefly flare and zip and out.
Of crystalline deposit? Is that what?
It was too quick to tell. I mean,
okay.
If you had to guess, you would say it was like a powdery substance of some kind, maybe?
Right. Now, was it... you said it was a firefly, like it was a bunch of miniature... Were they explosions that were happening, like at a minuscule level, or were they just...
It was kind of like when a log breaks or cracks apart and sends up a whiff of sparks from a campfire. I think that's the most accurate description I could come up with. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how this would react on a larger scale.
So, I would probably notice this.
It's a good question.
I probably actually notice this, and even though I'm still getting the device ready, I'll actually go, Everest, try this, and I'll toss him my heart crystal and my little crystal shard, and I say, walk through the miasma.
Rope. Somebody rope me.
No, not the fog, not the fog, the miasma cloud just there.
Like the little cloud, right?
Yeah.
The little cloud, right,
this one, right
yeah.
there.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, just walk through that.
Okay, so he has both, and then he proceeds to. He hits it, steps into it.
Okay, a little bit of a steel yourself. I mean, you've all encountered miasma before. It's not maybe less common in your particular neck of the woods, Everest, but you've traveled among the various parts of the world enough to know.
Yeah.
And you're well aware of what it does. Those plague hounds, or I'm sorry, the bloodhounds you saw at those were turned by miasma. And yeah, you sense the same kind of, it's got a slightly metallic taste, and it feels rather dead when you enter miasma. It's kind of like life falls away, but it's not affecting you at all. So you're even breathing in, and nothing is. It's like inert. It's just reduced to an inert gas, and nothing happens.
Yeah, don't stay in it too long, please.
He then walks out after that is said to him. He'll rejoin the group, and
I kind of like breathe. Like you see Laureate do like a mini panic. Just, oh no, what did I say? But
and then he hands the crystals back to Laureate. That was very odd.
Exactly. And there's more of this in there.
That could be very, very valuable.
All right, so how are you setting up to start the experiment?
Well, I've got the backpack on, making sure it's all strapped in. Seems okay. The crystal's in. Does it seem to be reacting wrong, bad, or any issues with it that I notice?
It looks. Make me a knowledge roll.
Oh no! Natural.
Looks fine to you.
Final, yeah, looks fine to me.
Everything looks a-okay. All systems go.
Can Everest take a look at it and hope that he might know that
he can, but let's see. Oh, wait a minute, Laurie, isn't one of your anchors hearth crystals?
Oh yeah, you're right.
So let's roll that again. Since your advantage.
It's probably double 20. Wait for it.
Oh shit!
Close enough. Close enough.
No, you missed it still, so it still looks good. Yep. Everest, you can try to look, but you're going to have a significant penalty on your knowledge roll of +6.
All right.
Because this is very specialized knowledge.
Right. I'll give it a shot anyway, just because.
All right. Yep.
Ooh.
Made it.
15.
Wow.
Okay. Nothing looks out of the ordinary to you. So I have a 6 is 15. He's got a knowledge of 16. So yeah, right under there. I mean, it looks fine. There's nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You're reasonably certain it will go as he planned.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm going to tie the rope around Laureate, and I'm going to tell her, now you need to have both hands on those pieces the whole time, right?
That is correct.
So the signal, because you won't be able to signal me regularly to tell me you're okay, is keep your pace regular.
Okay.
And if that pace stops for 3 seconds, I am starting to yank you out. Is that enough time, or am I waiting too long?
No, that works.
Perfect. So just brace yourself. It will
Well, you're gonna
It
walk
will
out
hurt.
and then turn around and come back, right?
That's the plan.
Okay.
If anything goes askew, we are at least ready. Don't go further than the rope. If you get to the end of it, I will yank once to indicate you should turn back. If you keep going, I will yank harder.
Okay.
And I'll tie the rope to my own waist, just in case something starts to yank at Laureate, because I'm not actually sure what she'll encounter in there, so that I can brace myself and kind of hold her back.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. So you guys are staying where you are, and then Laureate's going to advance into the fog.
Yep.
Correct?
Hands on the handles, and we
Okay.
go in.
Well, you go in.
Yep.
All right, are you going to the extent of the 100 feet or not?
I'll start by
How far are
going.
you?
I'll start by going 30 feet in and see what happens.
All right, and you are powering. You're powering it now, or have you
Yes.
started yet?
Yes,
or as
yes,
soon as
I
you hit the
power it.
fog? Okay.
As soon as I'm about to go in, like I put the hands on, and
All right.
pass through the arcane energy, and just walk through, see what happens.
Okay. Savoy, make me a focus roll.
Oh God.
So much concern.
Yep. So much concern, and
Oh yeah, you focused.
I am focused. I am watching.
Watching what in particular?
I'm watching basically an arc around, like, call it about 60 degrees, focused on her. So I'm basically making sure nothing's going to come out. If I see anything coming out of the forest towards her, I will be yelling. But I'm watching her, but I'm also watching this perimeter. If anything comes up behind me, I'm screwed. But
Okay,
I'm
well,
hoping Maddox will be,
he's kind of keeping his distance, but watching intently. And yeah, you since he is behind you, so that's kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
Okay,
I am
all right.
focused on trying to see, because I've heard she told us stories about this place and that there are things in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Well, that's the rumor.
big thing is that anyone who's tried to go in there to colonize it has never come out again.
Right,
So yeah, except for her.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, you're looking at this arc, kind of scanning back and forth, but like basically always keeping Laureate in view as you're moving to the left and the right of her. Is kind of okay.
Yeah.
And something catches as a bit of movement from over here that you kind of catch at the corner of your eye as you're kind of going back through your arc check. Let's put it that way.
Like movement to your right.
It'd be
To the
yes,
south,
yes, to
yeah.
your right, like right about like there.
Yeah,
right there.
I yell. There's movement to your right.
What? I can call out. What do you mean, movement to my right?
Yeah, but the problem is this doesn't illuminate the fog.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't get
see
rid of the fog,
anything,
so I
right.
can't see anything. After I assume, does it work? Does the actual device work? Because that's probably important.
So far you feel unaffected by it. Of course, you've only been in it like a minute.
Yeah.
But this
Does it give a visible field of
I'm gonna pull out my crossbow.
hold on a second. Let's see.
Holding that rope.
We'll just do boop, boop, boop. Whip. Right? No? Oh, it's the name. It's the name of it. Boop. There we go. Just ignore the objective part.
That's just what you know. Do you want me to put?
It's
Yeah, you just do
you
that.
can just,
That's
you
what.
can just erase. You can just erase it for now. Might have to put something in there later. The crystal is glowing more than usual. The fog doesn't it's not repelled by it or attracted by it or anything. It just seems to be there. But so far, so good. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All right. So, Everest, you have readied your crossbow. Are you doing anything else?
That was Savoy.
Sorry, Savoy,
has
not
the
Everest.
crossbow.
Yeah.
I've got it pointed in the general direction of this in between, because if I saw movement, I don't know what it is, but I mean, I don't know how far I'm going to be able to see. I mean, I'm hoping it's a non-lethal animal, but I have heard stories about the Silverglades. So, and they are probably all rumor because nobody but Laureate has actually walked out of the damn place. If it's a kitten, I'm going to keep it. But if it's not, then I guess I'll have to shoot it.
So if it's a kitten?
If it's a kitten, I'm keeping it.
Okay.
I back your play. I back your play.
You're staying where you are?
I will probably move up to here.
Okay.
So I can get a little bit closer and keep an eye on her.
All right. What are the other two doing?
I don't think they could probably not see me as soon as I go in, though.
Yeah, no, you're disappeared. So Mama, you've got the rope, which is still spooling out.
I am.
He's gone. Yeah, you cannot see anything.
I'm bracing and I'm
bring
being
up all
ready.
Mentions of the Mist movie that you want at this point. That's kind of what it's like.
I am holding that rope and I'm focused completely on if Laureate gives any signal she's in trouble, I am ready to yank her out. So both hands are on the rope, feeding it, but keeping an eye on it. And my stance is very ready to yank.
Okay, Everest, what are you doing?
Everest has heard what Savoy said, so he's now on the alert, and he's scanning the upper, if we're looking at the relation of the map, the northern portion, like up and through here and here, for any sort of movement.
All right. The movement grows or continues, let's put it that way. And now, Savoy, you are close enough to see what it is.
Okay. What am I looking at?
Well,
a kitten.
You are rather gobsmacked to realize that it appears you're looking at your husband, Titan.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. Unfortunately, give me another focus roll, please.
Okay.
You're so focused.
You're so focused. That is true. That's what's good stuff.
Yeah, well, this explains all my D&D rolls last time. I was like...
Don't jinx it, man.
As you're shocked and look closer, you realize he looks exactly as you last saw him, which I don't know if you wish to share with the party how that looked. Injury and everything. So, react how Savoy would react.
Basically, from ready stances, she kind of drops the crossbow down so it's pointed downward, and she's got this really utterly shocked look on her face. Mm-hmm. She is staring, and she is trying to figure out what this is, and she's not getting any closer because clearly her husband is dead, and if he looks like the last time she saw him, it ain't a pretty sight.
No, that is true.
So I think I would have rather the kitten.
We all.
I'm still watching it though.
Yeah. And now that he was walking straight out this way, but now that he apparently seems to have noticed you, did you make any kind of sound or noise?
It would have been a really soft, like
gasp in a way.
A gasp and maybe a under the breath curse, just like no fucking way, kind of.
Okay. And now he moves this way. And he reaches out to you. It's reaching out his hand.
This far?
About 20 feet-ish, 25 feet away from where you are.
I raise my crossbow and I call to Maddox, and I'm pointing at Titan, and I call to Maddox. I'm like, Maddox, what do you see 20 feet in front of me?
20 feet directly in front of you and myself, I see nothing. The fog is to our left, and there's that pocket of miasma to the right, and the stunted little tree there, but that's about it.
Savoy, are you okay? What's going on over there? Do I need to yank Laureate back out?
If Laureate is doing what she's supposed to do, let her keep doing it.
What do you see?
Someone who's dead.
Laureate, make me a focus roll. Actually, Laureate, this is going to be. I wish we had a. Hold on a second. I got to look at the chain here. This would be. I'm going to say insight because you're kind of focusing so much on the crystal itself. So, Laureate, insight roll, please.
Insight. All right, here we go.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you disadvantage.
Okay, well, I failed it already. So.
First one you failed anyways. So.
Failed them both. There you go.
Okay. All right. So you are getting to the. You are probably, I would say. I mean, you're walking slowly?
Yeah.
Quickly?
Slowly.
All right. So you'd probably paid out you're, I would say, 50 feet out from the group.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, let's make that about 70 feet out. So far, it's been very quiet. As the eerie Silverglade non-noise, which is always creepy.
Yep.
So you're 70 feet away. And let's see. So that didn't happen. So let's. Okay. And you're thinking you're deep in the fog, and nothing seems to be going on that's out of the ordinary. It seems to be working because you don't. It's kind of like, how do I know when I'm high? Kind of thing.
Well, I'd probably take deep breaths to see if I can take in as much of the fog to see if it affects.
You don't feel any different. But the problem with the fog is that real or not? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, well, if I just immolate, just breathe it in, that kind of thing. It'll either affect you or not. So far, everything, the test seems to be going fine. That's what I can tell you.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, back at is there anything else you want to do, or are you going to keep going out to the limit?
I'll go out to the double rope length, which is 100 feet, and then probably stop then.
Okay. You're just kind of sitting there in the quiet, the trees all around you, thick kind of foliage. Back at the group, Savoy, anything else you wish to do at this moment?
No, I'm, since Maddox said he did not see anything, and he's standing right there, and I've seen him fight, I'm going to turn away from that and go back to trying to scan. Because that is not a pretty visit.
No, it is not. Not at all. So, yeah. And he just stands there holding his arm out, his hand out to you, beseeching you to take his hand.
Did you inhale any pixie dust, Savoy, while you were?
I don't know.
Maddox says quietly, do you see something?
Oh, yes, I do. I see someone who has died. Someone I cared about quite a deal.
Okay. Can you point to the general direction of where this?
Yeah, I pointed it to.
Okay. All right.
Right there, 20 feet away. Holding his hand out to me to come to him.
Okay. All right, I have your back. And he just kind of, ready for whatever might come out of the fog, looking at it a little.
Well, if you love
more cautiously.
Yeah, if you love someone dearly and you see them, someone who died.
Indeed. But it seems to be affecting only you right now, which is interesting.
Unusual, yes. I'm not particularly pleased about this.
Right. Malma, the rope is at its maximum length.
I'm going to just hold firm and just indicate to Laureate that she's at the end and she needs to turn around.
Morse code jiggly rope, and there you go. So, Laureate, how long are you staying out there?
Well, if she's marked to come back, then I'll come back. So, I'll obviously do it very slowly.
Right. You're reasonably certain if the fog was going to affect you, it would have done so by now.
Yeah, I still want to, go for that little bit extra longer, just because never know.
Yep.
I might
if
while
you're
I'm
slow-
going back, I may test
Yeah.
out pushing more energy into it, see what happens, just a little bit more.
All right. The glow increases. There doesn't seem to be any appreciable effect otherwise.
Okay, and then
Just a little brighter?
I'll go back like this just to see how it.
Okay. All right. After a while, you all see that kind of silvery shimmer, and eventually the form appears, and it is Laureate returning with the device activated and working. Seems to be working well, very well.
When she gets within where I can see her, I Laureate, come over here with that activated, please.
Okay. So
Because I want to see if my vision of Titan goes away when she gets near with the device activated.
Oh, okay. It does not. Nothing happens at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're standing there, and it takes. Laureate's standing there for
I'm
about
very
a minute.
confused. So
Yeah, and
Well,
then
is there a
after a
problem?
minute, it starts. He retreats back into the. It doesn't disappear. He retreats back into the mist until you can no longer see him.
Okay.
But didn't just like poofy vanish.
No, he just.
are you okay?
As okay as when
She looks pretty pale, actually.
someone who is dead come out and beckon to me.
Just saw someone who's dead.
Someone who's dead. Maddox saw nothing. You saw nothing.
Yeah, you didn't. You looked down. She was looking very intently at a spot, and where you looked over there was nothing there.
You want me to stand over there just to see if there's anything? I check her forehead.
Okay.
Is there like any kind of sign that she's been affected by the pixie dust? If she somehow ingested some of it?
Well, it's not like she's running a fever or anything.
How about I do?
I mean, she seems. I'm not sure if upset is a strong, maybe too strong of a
Agitated.
term. Yeah, there you go, agitated. Yes, she does seem agitated, slightly
She's
agitated.
irritated, or usually with like you or Mama or.
yeah,
or
that
Everest.
agitation.
That's
Okay.
baseline. That's baseline. So
She's agitated
Okay.
right now. Like
I'll walk to the location where she thinks she saw whatever it is, and with,
okay,
with the
yeah, she
backpack
can,
on,
it was like
and
right
just
here,
like
or,
stand here and just see if there's anything.
Like yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go a little bit deeper. You probably just barely make me out because the fog starts to get thick very quickly. I assume.
I got the rope.
I got.
So you are following.
Yeah,
No.
I've got the rope. I
Yeah.
am.
I'm not really going to go that deep. I'm just going to stand here and just say, "Is this the spot?"
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Can I do a check just to see if there's any kind of anything interesting on the ground? I don't know.
What specifically are you looking for?
I don't know. She said she saw a person, right? So there'd be some kind of sign in the grass or
But someone who
footprints.
was dead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then make me a focus check, please.
Oh, I can't do rolls now. Okay, 19. That's a fail.
Well, it was very clear there were no footprints. The grass here is fairly long. There's no way someone could not. If they walked through here, they would have left marks.
Yeah.
It's you're not a tracker, and you don't need to be for this. You're leaving. Look back, my footprints.
Yeah.
Look ahead. There's nothing.
There's nothing. So I'll just say,
Okay.
I don't see anything here, Savoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming back out. And just walk out with the device on my back, and
All right.
Okay. All right.
I feel okay. I didn't feel it affected me.
So it
Felt
worked.
It seems to have worked.
All right.
Okay, then Maddox is pleased by this. So
Everest, I have what is that box that we bought?
the lung box.
Lung
The
box.
lung
box.
I
Yeah.
give you the lung box for just in case purposes.
That's
He
probably
takes it.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so
well, next step.
I'll
experiment 2.
Experiment 2. Take the backpack, give it to Everest, help him put it on, and to Malma's tying him up. So I'll kind of give Everest the one-on-one on the backpack and how put the handles there and just push your arcane energy through these copper handles and see what happens. Don't do too much, just a little bit right now. I just want to test. Make sure you don't. And I'll go around the back and be like, cross fingers. Everest doesn't ever do it.
So you're not going with him. You're sending him off by himself.
No, I'm going to go with him.
Okay. Just making sure.
This test is to see to see about how far out the pocket is.
Yeah.
Right, and also you're trying to see whether two of you can extend it, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to explain to them, like, we bought a few ropes. I'm going to tie the two of them together, and then I'm going to tie one rope to Everest in case they're both knocked out, that we can all pull them out.
Okay.
There is a chance with this test that I may take in some of the fog. So just be aware. I don't know what will happen.
Everest, if you need me to pull both of you out and you're still conscious, so you can yank 3 times back on the rope, I'll pull you out right away. Otherwise, same deal as with Laureate. You walk steadily. If you stop for more than 3 seconds, I'm starting to yank.
Understood. Laureate, is there any chance, as we're looking, would we be able to take any samples of the crystal deposits?
You mean more of the shards? Or the fog?
Yes. Not the fog directly, I mean the shards.
It's a bit hard to spot them. It's just fog everywhere. Have to try and it'd take a while for us to find some. I don't know if you want to do that while we're testing the device.
Maybe play it safe for now if you can, because I'll start yanking if you stop too long too.
I think the priority should be the device first. Scientists, I'd probably recommend that over getting more of these crystals.
And believe me, I'm interested in those crystals too, but I'm more interested in your survival.
Right.
And I don't like what Savoy saw, and I don't know what else is waiting for you in there.
All sorts of fun things, I imagine.
Always.
So at this point, he would be ready to head in.
All right. Okay. How's the brightness of the crystal? Because we're doing the first test as he puts his hands on.
So how much power are you putting into this, Everest?
He'd be putting. I mean, the thing is, I think his approach would be a gradual one, because he's not sure how much. Again, Laurie explained the gist of it. But the problem is there's no direct correlation in the power conversion that's needed. So I think it would be as minuscule as possible and gradually ratcheting up the power level to a sustainable point.
Okay.
I would have to kind of gauge on that based on the brightness of the crystal and hope that's like a good.
Well, that's true. You can, guide him to a degree. So
yeah.
Are you like?
Yeah, that's why I'm going with him. So
I have to duck out of Emberwind mode and duck into D&D. Are you doing a cantrip, a first level spell, second level spell? What is the level of?
Yeah, what tier spell?
I think this.
We don't have that many tiers though, but that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be like he'd start out with like a tier 1 spell, Mana Echoes, and test that, like the equivalent of Mana Echoes, testing it and getting into there.
All right. Okay. All right. So I need Laureate and Everest to head off into the fog.
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna tell Savoy, stay near me. Don't go too far.
I'm literally standing right next to you. Perfect.
Yeah, Maddox is also not keeping his distance, put it that way. Not scared per se, but certainly keeping an eye out on the other side for other things. All right.
So as we're heading in, what is judging as Laureate's looking at the crystal? What is its brightness level in comparison to what hers was?
About the same.
Okay.
You seem to be doing a pretty good job of feeding it enough to hit that second that particular level. One moment. So, and Everest, in your lands, which are rather arid, fog wasn't something you really dealt with ever. It was very, very, very. It's like as rare as snow, if not rarer, because there's not enough water vapor in the air to ever form fog. So this is a little disconcerting for you, and it's not just the fog; it's also the distinct, as you enter the fog, it's the distinct lack of not just sound, it seems, but also detectable life. There's no birds chirping. There's no lizards scuttling through the underbrush, or a chipmunk or a squirrel type analog for Adriel. There doesn't seem to be anything in here. It's like a dead zone.
Right, and he'd mutter. I think you'd hear him mutter to Laureate, "This is one of the most surreal landscapes I've ever had and it would be that question, like, pleasure of being on.
I would have thought you'd say displeasure for sure.
Think of it this way: this is probably the first time one of your people has ever gone to the Silverglades. So congratulations. Welcome.
And even your words as they come out, when you're kind of used to this, Laureate, but when Laureate replies to Everest, her words just sound kind of flat, monotone, listless.
Right.
Yeah, just the even deadened sound that originates here. And you already, not that they were making that much noise, but it's like if you turned around, you can't see the rest of the group, and you have no idea if they're making any noise whatsoever. It's like this opaque curtain has come up between you and them. And if the rope was not there, you have not really any idea if you could find your way back out. It's that thick, and that just sensory blocking is the best word to use.
Right.
So yeah, little disconcerting. You don't have any idea which way is where. You cannot see the sun at all. It's just all around, just this opaque gray. The crystal seems to be doing its job as far as you can tell, and that's really about all you have knowledge of at this point in time.
Right. Okay. So I think he would go to Laureate. How would you get out of here if you didn't have a rope attached to me? Like, there's no way to actually see or hear anything.
That's a good question. We tried to make a trail through when we came in. I may have followed that back, but that part of my memory is still a little blurred. I think I followed the trail back, but I'm not sure.
So you're walking while saying this, all right?
Yeah.
Having this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. More than halfway out. I don't know if everyone's counting your paces or whatever. I'm not sure if anyone's keeping track of that.
Yeah, I'd say we're the full first 50 foot out rope length.
No, yeah, it's true, because you knotted together, so you had that be at least be a marker. Yeah, you're past that, probably like 60 or something. So out.
All right, I think now's a good time to test the radius of the area. This means there's a good chance I'll probably be ingesting some of the fog that has pixie dust in it. So.
Do I need to worry about you having an hallucination?
Yes.
Do you have any idea? Will you be cognizant if you are having an hallucination? Like, will you be able to tell it's a hallucination?
Maybe. I mean, most people I've seen who've ingested the substance don't have a good reaction. They don't communicate correctly, and when I did make it back, I couldn't speak properly for a good 2 weeks. I couldn't communicate.
Oh boy.
Let's break from you and go back to the rest of the group. Savoy, give me a focus roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so focused.
Holy!
Screwed. I'm so screwed.
He's back.
Oh
3-1.
my lord.
Titan steps out of the fog and is even closer now.
Does he look as bad as before? Or does he actually not look bad?
Oh, he looks as bad as before. And he holds out his hand to you, he raises his arm, holds out his hand to you and says, Savoy.
Does it sound like him?
Yeah. I mean, sounds like him after what happened to him. If he was speaking like after that, yes. But it does sound like him. You recognize the voice, and literally, it's like the same thing kind of happened right in your heart. Let's put it that way. I think is a fair assessment.
Oh, okay.
This has been. Let's see. It's been several years. This has been several years ago. Yeah. You're 43 and you're 49 now.
Oh no, 33 is. Hold on.
I said 43. 43 is when this happened to you. You're 49 now, so it's 7 years. You haven't. I mean, other than, I don't know if you're Savoy's a piney kind of person, but he's probably kind of come to terms with this, agreed to put it away, and now seeing him here.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. Yeah.
And I am going to quietly say he has come back. I know you guys can't see him. I am not sure what's affecting my mind.
Is he inside the mist, or did he step out of them?
He is now 10 feet away from me.
I don't like this.
Literally step forward and touch his hand.
Maybe don't try that. Is he coming towards you still?
Well, if you could see what I could see, you could understand why I'm not reaching out to touch his hand.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever's haunting you. Maybe you should go back to the carriage with Maddox?
No, absolutely not. I am willing to take a step back, but I am not abandoning this group.
Take a step back then. Stay away. Stay safe.
Is Maddox gonna move, or do I need to back over here?
So he will give you room to move if you need to.
Actually,
yes.
I literally want to be in his spot. I want to step backwards one.
All right. Well, then he will position himself between both of you to back either of you up as necessary.
Okay. I will take a step back and see whatever the vision does.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I gotta see. Here we go. Okay. All right, and then as you kind of step back, you glance over at Maddox, and you see his eyes are kind of widened in surprise. And he says, "Where? You said you see this
I point
apparition.
Directly right there. Same place?
Uh-huh. But
What
not
are you seeing?
someone from my past. And
Are
you
they
get the
dead?
impression that's all he's going to say about that.
Are they dead that you know of?
Oh, quite.
Yeah.
His hands are kind of crossed on the dagger's hidden in his sleeves, but he doesn't make any move to draw them, but they're certainly ready. So, Mama, what are you doing at this point? You can overhear their conversation, not being particularly quiet about it.
I am not going to glance over. I'm going to try my best to focus on that robe and on seeing if there's any indication I need to pull back. And if Savoy needs me, I know she stepped back. I know she's smart. If she needs me, she'll let me know. But I have to trust that she's got this under control because I need to focus on that rope because I'm the only one tethered to them right now.
That's true. So make me that focus roll.
Focus. How focused is Malma? She's pretty focused.
Okay. But she still hears the voice say, Malma. And you recognize that was what the focus roll is. It was way back when you were just starting out. It was your first voyage as captain of the Cupcake. And you had a cabin boy named Jarl. And he unfortunately perished in a bad accident, went overboard. And sometimes you still wake up at night hearing his last despairing scream as he fell into the black. And you could have just sworn right now that you heard his voice from over here. It's this right here, calling your name.
I'm going to grit my teeth. I'm going to keep looking forward stubbornly towards where Laureate and Everest are, and I'm going to hold on that rope, but I'm going to hold it in such a way that they start to feel it growing tighter wherever they're moving. I'm not giving them as much leeway as they were getting before.
Okay. All right. And we will cut back. I just lost. No, that should be fine. I let my iPad go completely down in battery, so I lost the Twitch feed. Anyways, we're gonna cut from you and go back to Laureate and Everest, who are preparing for the dual mage experiment. Correct?
Yep. Distance test.
Well, it's also but you're practicing for both of you putting into the crystal, right?
Yeah, that as well. Like various tests. So
yes.
All right. Okay. All right. And how are you executing or managing this particular test?
So the first one is I'll grab one of the, while I'm looking at the crystal behind Everest, I'll do like a quick switch of the handle from his hand to my hand, and just see if we can kind of control it together without breaking the crystal.
Right.
Indeed.
That'll suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
All right. Okay, both of you make focus rolls at +2. Laureate, you'll still get advantage because this is with a hearth crystal.
Yeah. Oh my, please.
Oh no.
Focus, I just made it. Well, unless you said it's a +2.
It's a +2, so unfortunately you guys all missed it, which is fine. I mean, because
It's fine.
it's not for what you think it is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You are both focusing so much on regulating the power to the crystal that, that you don't see what happens to you until it actually happens, of course. You think this might be working, but you're both really just so focused on, again, not because you don't want to blow the crystal, because it could be very dangerous.
Yeah. I definitely tell him if there's too much power, and then we both drop it, but we probably both drop it too much and things like that.
That's the thing, is trying to regulate each other without, it's very nerve-wracking. It literally takes all your concentration, which is the problem in the fog, as something jumps on each of you, bears you to the ground, because I'm not going to give you a save on this, and you will each take, let's see, I mean, there was no defense anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You will each take advanced. Let's see. So Everest, well, your toughness will still qualify, of course, but you will take 16 minus your toughness. And Laureate, you will take 20 minus your toughness.
Damn.
At the exact same time that happened, there was no noise. Well, or let's face it, you didn't hear anything. It's not that there wasn't any noise, you just didn't hear it. At the exact same time with the other group, Malma, the rope goes slack. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh, you're so cruel.
You are, yeah.
It's getting late, folks. We can't enter combat now.
That is true.
Next time.
That is true.
So
but so ready to beat on things.
I know. What can I say? But unfortunately, time is not on your side. So
This is why it's only been a full week since we started the game.
Big meanie.
18 months away.
True.
Whenever the heck we did it. What session is this?
This is 29?
It'll be
This is
29.
Yeah.
Up to session
So-
30.
So it's been like 1 day per session-ish. Sometimes you guys go
Yeah.
a day and a half. Sometimes it's an afternoon. It depends on what's happening. But yeah, it's.
Right.
I would say like 3 to 4 weeks have passed in game time.
Oh,
So. Yep. Well, I guess you'll find out what is currently tearing into your friends. In a couple weeks. So yeah, it's all good. So, all right. Yep. So that's that. So good times. Foggy. I guess. Sad, you'll have to find some sort of like fog layover.
I've got one I can show you after.
You've
So,
got one.
I've already prepared for this.
Yeah,
I
this
just
is gonna be a
didn't.
little treat.
I
This is
had an
gonna be a little
upload
tricky.
issue and I
Yeah.
couldn't do it for some reason. So
Well, we didn't really need it till the very end. So
Yeah.
and even so, we don't need it till next time. So you got plenty of time to get it ready. All right, so we will. Oh wait, let me launch this. Hold on a second. There we go. And now, oh goody, it went right to yay. Okay, so Marie, just dessert maven, ready to bash things, but you'll have to wait a little longer. What did you think of
Yeah.
tonight's session, and where can people find you?
It was creepy, also enjoyable to watch the terrible planning of heading into the hallucination filled mist was brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, you guys actually had a pretty good plan going. I was rather impressed with that.
All of our plans are good.
The rope guy. Some are better than others. Let's be honest. This one was pretty good. I think this is among the top of your planning. So very nicely done.
What do you mean? Better than jumping off a bridge onto
That
an
was the
airship?
best plan
Yeah.
ever.
I have to
Facing
agree.
who knows how many chasers on the bridge? Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was good. It was very crappy, more than creepy. It was to the crappy end. Yes, very crappy. And
Oh,
Mama
good,
is
good.
very focused on getting her friends out of there, and the rope has gone slack. And I'm gonna be mad at you for the next 2 weeks until we play again. Just to be clear, there's
I will accept that burden. Yeah.
perfect. You're a
And
strong person.
when I go and have ice cream, I'll think of you afterwards. So
Good, good.
Yeah. Okay. So where can the find you next?
So
Not here.
I might be playing tomorrow morning. Check Twitter here on this channel at 10 o'clock Star Wars with a session GM'd by Mike Underwood with Arv will be here, Dongwon Song and Joyce Chang will be here as well. And I might be mispronouncing the last name. I apologize for that, Joyce. So that should be super fun. It's the fall of Alderaan. After the fall of Alderaan, I am an Alderanian noble. So, see something different than Malma.
Oh, that'll be fun.
A bit.
So I believe
that sounds awesome.
Does she eat as much as Mama?
Probably not. She's got angst, which I think might stop her from eating.
Kind of kills the appetite. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It does. So that should be tomorrow at 10, I believe. But check Twitter. And then you can find me on Twitter, Marie Bilodeau, on Facebook, on my website, mariebilodeau.com, Glitterbomb Bilodeau on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you. Always a pleasure to have Mama. And now Mama has 2 weeks to get ready to go bash things. So I think that'd be a plus.
Ready.
It's a big thing. Yes, exactly. All right. Cool. Very cool. Always great to have you with us. Next, Saad, you've got the experiment running,
Yeah.
possibly to your detriment. What is the number one rule? Don't split the party. Remember?
That is true. Though if we
What do you
all
think
went
of
in,
tonight's-
and had no way of getting out, that would be.
See, yeah. I suppose you could
So-
tie it to like one of the trees or something. But what did you think of tonight's session, and where can people find it?
It was great. I liked it. It's finally getting back to like being a normal group where we have banter, like some good banter between us that isn't
Not all angst and bickering.
yeah,
anymore, eh?
not angst and bickering. Yeah, that's true. That's so yeah, this is gonna be a thing for Laureate to have to sort this out and hopefully not kill anyone with this. Sort underscore on Twitch. You can see me there streaming. I'm currently playing through LA Noire, which is a really cool game. You should check it out. And you'll see me here next week for Grumbler's Guide to Sword Coast Legends, and then whatever the IAB schedule is, And then obviously
hasn't been set for next month, but we'll find out soon enough.
Know soon.
Yep.
Obviously,
right.
back and forth between IAB, Emberwind, and my little show that I've got going. And then when I stream my channel, I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. Awesome, sir. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Yeah, bringing Laureate a little bit back to the light side, assuming she survives what's about to happen to you both. Yeah. So great. All right, fantastic. Next, of course, is Jen. Jen, little blast from the past for you this time.
Oh, that was cruel. That was really cruel. I should have expected it because I did end in my background, but that was unexpected. I enjoyed it. You have no idea how close I was to reaching out and touching this dude's hand. Very close.
He's still there.
Yeah, but somebody else has seen something that looks different in the exact same place. So I was right. But it was a close thing. Yep. I'm everywhere as jenniferbrozek.com, mostly on Twitter and Facebook. If you want to see me more, see more of my cats, that's Jennifer_Brozek on Instagram, and I have pictures of all 4 of the cats. And last month I had 2 books come out. Shadowrun, A Kiss to Die For, and Battletech Ghost Hour. And I'm currently hard at work working on the 3rd Battletech book.
Yep. Wrapping up the trilogy, and bad things happen. Things have gone from bad to way worse. Let's put it that way.
Things are just upping the stakes, just making it worse. My poor cadets.
So if you like well-defined teenagers with real problems and big stompy robots, this is the trilogy for you. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Jen. And I kind of figured it would be kind of a little bit of a sucker punch, but that's
that was
you gave me the info, so I feel compelled to use it.
That part of it, I was very clear that.
What was it going to get? I give you the happy part. Not so much. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll see how this may affect Savoy or not as we move forward. So
Oh no! Later on, when she has the time, she is going to go somewhere quiet and bawl her eyes out. She's not going to do it in front of these people.
No. I would not expect her to. So, all right. Last but certainly not least, Lucky Everest is the other magic using person.
Is lucky the term we want to be using right now?
Well, you said you had the pleasure to go in here, so yeah, it's gone from bad to worse for you two, for sure. What do you think of tonight, and where can people find you?
Tonight was good. I love talking magical theory in this game, considering that it's a wide open font of things.
Very open field. Yes.
That we can just abuse and just have fun with.
Pretty much. Yep.
So I mean, I love messing around with that aspect of the game, and I'm looking forward to finding out what's going to potentially be ripping my face off in this terrible area of Adriel that has no sound, is basically, like you said, a dead zone. I'm slightly terrified as well as aroused as a player to be going through this experience.
I totally had the wrong name for this particular episode. I should probably call it the Dead Fog, which would have been a much better title.
Oh God,
I would have called it Fog. I would have called it Fog of War.
It's not really war, though. I thought I could have sworn you guys were heading. I forgot you were doing the experiment. I thought you were heading off to the War Beast thing. I completely slipped my mind. You were doing the experiment first to satisfy the nobles.
Right.
So I think we may have to rename this one the Dead Fog when you put it up on YouTube. That's a much better title. Thank you very much, sir. Good.
Yeah, no problem. But you'll find me at Leppy83 tweeting about nerdy things, and then here just doing Emberwind right now because I'm a very, very busy boy going to be moving in a month. So all that fun stuff.
Ish.
Yeah, the moving part's less fun, but the decorating part is the more fun part that everybody enjoys.
Will you be closer to work?
I'll be further from work. Actually, no, I'll be technically, because I'm at my girlfriend's right now, technically further. But if I was at my actual house, I would actually be closer. But I'm also closer to my son. It's a complicated mess.
It's this whole Canadian geography thing. I'm just gonna let you deal with it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Ember Crew, thank you very much. This was actually, I had a lot of fun. I'm not sure you guys did, but I did. Yeah, that much. This is great, and we will see you, everybody, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
From me, John Helfers, and the entire Ember Crew, we're going to say goodnight for now. And until next time, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Oh, is the music too loud compared to me? Probably is. Let me just lower it a tad. Okay, who are we gonna host? Let's have a look who is streaming right now. That's a good question. Let's see if like. Man, we should see Red Lear stream. Let's see Red Lear streaming. Nah, he's not streaming. If only he was streaming. Woo. Sorry. All right, we're gonna host GOG. Kilgore Trout is currently streaming on GOG, playing Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. I know, he was right there non-stop. We missed him. How did we miss him? Oh well. So we're gonna host GOG.com. GOG.com. Good old Kilgore Drought. So yeah, don't forget, as Marie said, the Star Wars D&D, Star Wars, not really D&D, Star Wars RP tomorrow, as well as Espergenesis at the end of the week. And of course, all the standard stuff, IAB, ARV streams, you know, all that standard stuff. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's do the host now. You know how to do the raid. All the standard raid stuff. We all know how to do it, right? ARV raid. ARV raid. Is it that? You know all that. Give them the nice big hi from me and the Ember Crew team. Thank you, everybody. See yas.